This is the Bastard Star Wars RPG Deep Dive Podcast.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we plunge headfirst into the heart of rebellion, insubordination, and let's just say intergalactic chaos.
That's putting it mildly.
Today we're journeying into a truly wild corner of the Star Wars galaxy, and it all stems from one very daring, very unauthorized mission.
Yeah, we've got quite the stack of sources laid out for you here. Session analysis, summaries, even some narrative logs from a Star Wars campaign. Our mission really is to unpack the fallout from Rogue Squadron assassinating Imperial Moff Lincoln.
And this wasn't just a simple hit, was it?
Not at all. This single decision just ignited a whole chain reaction. We're talking strategic Imperial crackdowns, ship-wide parties that went completely sideways, dramatic arrests.
And ultimately, this rogue squadron fighting for its very independence.
Exactly. It's quite a ride.
So our goal for you listening is pretty straightforward. We're going to arm you quickly with the crucial bits, the surprising insights from this whole saga.
You'll get a handle on the characters, their complex dynamics, the strategic ripples their actions caused.
And the really high-stakes future these rebels are now facing in the Tapani sector. Think of it as your shortcut to being totally up to speed.
Ready to jump in.
Let's do it. So let's unpack this. Our story kicks off with Rogue Squadron, well, limping back to the Far Star. Their ships are practically smoking after taking out Moff Lincoln.
Yeah, a victory maybe, but definitely not a clean one.
And right away, the reception they get back on the Far Star is, well, it's split.
Sharply split.
Yeah.
You've got the younger pilots all eager for war stories, treating them like absolute heroes. John Tailgunner, he's already spinning these exaggerated tales.
Of course he is.
But then you look at the engineering crew. Folks like Lawfrey and the Wookiee mechanic, T'Chak the Chadrafam, they're just resentful.
Because this means more work.
More work, yes, repairing damaged ships from an unsanctioned mission, but also, crucially, knowing this brings more Imperial heat down on them. Sergeant Brofar Tofarain's reaction, just this weary resignation, it really sums up the practical cost.
And people started leaving or being reassigned almost immediately.
Right. 2 key departures right off the bat. Tylo Alden gets called to Telian. It's partly under Imperial threat, but also a chance to gather intel from the inside.
Okay, so a double-edged sword there.
Definitely. And then Beaumont Grok heads straight for Vicinith. He's off to help a very new rebel cell that's about to face down an entire Imperial Legion.
Wow. That shows how fast the Empire reacted, spreading their attention.
Exactly. It forced the rebellion's hand, pushing them into new, dangerous spots.
So ships get patched up, but the real reckoning is just beginning. You mentioned the debriefing with Captain Zero. Sounds like it was tense.
Oh, yeah. Picture the command deck of the Far Star. Very tense atmosphere. Zero delivers this very clear 2-pronged message.
Which was?
Basically, glad you survived, but what you did was wrong. He hammers home that the original mission was capture. Get intelligence, not assassination.
That highlights a core problem for any rebellion, right? The quick win versus the long game.
Absolutely. And these sources really lean into that.
Yeah.
The intel was the prize, and they threw it away for a kill, which then cost them hugely across the sector.
And First Officer Dramatrum didn't mince words either, I gather.
No. Dramatrum laid it out cold. Deviations from protocol, unauthorized command decisions, the loss of a fighter. These are all serious breaches of discipline. Very by the book, very harsh.
But Lieutenant Dejus tried to spin it.
Dejus, yeah. She's the intel officer, always looking for an angle.
Mhm.
She tried to reframe it, highlighting what she called substantial intelligence gains anyway.
Like what? Intercepted comms.
Exactly. Intercepted traffic, sensor readings showing disrupted Imperial supply lines, a big Imperial reaction across Tapani. Her line was, "Chaos is a repulsor lift."
Huh. So even a screwed-up mission can create useful chaos.
That's her argument. Forcing the enemy to react reveals things, even if the initial plan went totally off the rails. It's a risky way to gather intel, though. Very costly.
And Conrad Wild, the pilot who actually took the shot.
He tried to justify it. Split-second decision, chaos of combat, you know the drill.
Understandable, maybe, in the moment.
Zero acknowledged Conrad's experience, but he drew a very firm line. He warned that while their unconventional methods got some kind of result this time, that kind of latitude absolutely wouldn't fly again.
A warning shot across the bow, basically.
Definitely. They're walking a very fine line.
So Dayjuice was piecing together the bigger picture from this chaos. What did her intel briefing actually reveal about the sector-wide impact?
It was grim. Her briefing really underlined that killing Lincoln wasn't just a tactical poke. It triggered a massive, coordinated Imperial response.
Militarily.
Militarily, the Star Destroyer Gauntlet got redeployed, started sweeping near Talene, which directly threatened the Far Star's asteroid hideout. Big problem.
Right near home.
And crucially, Imperial checkpoints popped up everywhere along the Rimma trade route and the Shapani bypass that crippled rebel supply lines. Bacta, other vital stuff, suddenly much harder to get.
Squeezing them where it hurts.
And on the ground, more stormtroopers deployed to key worlds, Talandan, Procopia, Misarest, and remember that legion heading to Vicinith, specifically to crush Beaumont Graxel. The whole sector went on high alert. Curfews, checkpoints, surveillance everywhere.
It wasn't just troops and ships, though, was it? There was a propaganda element, too.
Oh, absolutely. The Empire launched a huge campaign, painting Lankin's assassination as terrorism, labeling the rebels as ruthless criminals. Standard playbook, but effective.
And that puts pressure on their sympathizers.
Huge pressure. ISB activity ramped up, putting embedded agents, informants, anyone helping the rebellion at serious risk. Plus political pressure. Imperial envoys were sent to the great houses demanding loyalty declarations. That included Flick Hajaran's home, Nightsinger's orb.
So a full court press from the Empire.
But interestingly, Dayjuice spotted a potential crack in all this backlash.
Oh, what was that?
Because Lincoln was from House Melantha, powerful house, the Empire initially seemed suspicious of them. Like, why couldn't you protect your own Moff? Maybe you were involved.
Sowing discord between an allied house and the Empire.
Exactly. A subtle rift, but something the rebellion might be able to exploit. So, yeah, the assassination brought down the hammer, but it also maybe revealed a small weakness.
Okay, so while the Empire's tightening its strategic grip out there, things on the Far Star itself are about to get messy. In a different way.
Oh, yes. Enter Flick Hajaran. Seeking to boost morale and maybe, just maybe, deflect a little blame for his role in the mission, he declares himself the ship's new recreation officer.
Declares himself.
Pretty much Flick style. His plans were uniquely Flick, a vegan potluck with carnivore options, some 2 truths and a lie,
Sounds harmless enough.
and free-flowing rouge juice. This potent, mysterious cocktail supplied by Skyrus Prime, the rogue trader.
Rouge juice. What even is that?
According to Dayjuice's later, rather horrified analysis, it had an insane pharmacological breakdown. Basically, liquefied psychedelic space rock with compounds from over 30 species. Dangerously potent stuff.
Oh boy. I remember Flick's quotes from the sources. I am the definition of discretion. I'm the model of it.
The irony, right? And he also said, I opened a door that cannot be closed. He definitely opened a door.
While Flick's planning his unique party, Conrad Wild is doing his own thing, more pragmatic.
Much more. Conrad used the downtime to gather intel, work angles. He hit up Skyrus Prime, who gave him the lowdown on the Far Star's internal politics. Serial loyalists, anti-Serial folks, opportunists just looking out for themselves.
Useful intel.
Skyrus also dropped hints about Conrad's personal enemy, Hamar Chaktak, doing shady deals down in Docking Bay 7.
Okay, feeling a personal vendetta there.
Seems like it. Conrad also talked to Dr. Akanzo about the Bacta shortage, confirming Hamar Chaktak was their unreliable price gouging supplier, made the need for a new source crystal clear.
And then there was that other thing Conrad commissioned from Skyrus.
Yes. The cybernetic penis for Riet Yondar, Rook, as a joke.
A really bizarre joke. Stress getting to him, maybe? Gallows humor.
Who knows? It was certainly a choice.
Meanwhile, Riet Yondar, Rook, is actually focused on something important.
Exactly. Complete contrast. Rook remembered Dayjuice's warnings about Imperial suites. He found a nebula cluster way out on the fringes that could offer natural sensor cover for a Far Star.
Smart move. Strategic.
Very. And Captain Zero, despite clearly being frustrated with the whole squadron, saw the good sense in it immediately. He authorized the relocation. It shows Rook's value, his tactical thinking.
Okay, so the ship is moving. Flick's party is prepped with psychedelic space juice. How did the actual party go?
Attendance. Huge success. About 75% of the crew showed up, drawn by the promise of, well, distraction and rouge juice.
But execution.
Total disaster. Flick's attempts to be the life of the party fell flat. He tried flirting with Lieutenant Dayjuice, who just openly mocked his frivolous persona and basically told him he didn't know what he was messing with serving that drink.
Ouch.
Even worse, later, Flick and Zero were escorting some rowdy pilots, and Flick just leans in and kisses Zero.
Yeah.
Yep. And Ciro, maybe caught off guard, maybe just exhausted by everything, actually kissed him back for a moment. Clearly regretted it later, but yeah, happened.
Wow. Okay. That's unexpected. But the party didn't end there, did it? There was a fight.
Right, the climax. Things just boiled over. A bridge officer, Darren Thite, clearly had resentment simmering toward Conrad. Fueled by booze and Conrad's probably obnoxious pronouncements, Thite just decked him. Punched him right in the face.
Whoa.
Conrad, probably half gone from the rouge juice, pulls his blaster, takes a shot at Thite.
Oh, no.
Misses, thankfully. Hits the ceiling instead.
Okay, disaster averted. Barely.
Ciro saw the whole thing. He clearly had enough. Just ordered both Conrad and Thite straight to the brig. No discussion. That effectively killed the party, and Flick's whole recreation officer thing left a really sour taste on the ship.
Just highlights that leadership takes more than, wanting to throw a good party.
Absolutely. Intentions aren't enough when things are this tense.
So the morning after, I imagine there were some serious hangovers.
Widespread hangovers, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when Wing Ripper Gorgé, Rana, who had temporarily taken command of Rogue's squadron, decided it was the perfect time for mandatory combat drills. 6 a.m.
Terrible idea.
Predictably, it was a disaster. Flick could barely fly straight. Conrad, though competent, was bristling under Wing Ripper's very rigid command style, started questioning the whole exercise.
And then it escalated.
Big time. Wing Ripper ordered Conrad to fly with John Tailgunner. Conrad just flat out refused. Said he was quitting Rogue Squadron entirely.
Quit. Just like that.
Yep. Said he'd rather go back to the brig than fly that drill under her command. It's that core conflict again, right? Individual will versus military discipline. It was tearing the squadron apart.
So what does Ciro do? He's got this squadron basically self-destructing.
Ciro, at his absolute wit's end, makes a really drastic call. He decides Rogue Squadron is being spun off. Independent cell. Conrad's in charge.
Wow. Cutting them loose.
Effectively, yeah. Severing direct ties, direct resources from the Far Star. It feels like Ciro's trying to contain the problem, maybe still get something out of him, but from arm's length.
But putting Conrad in charge, the guy who just refused orders and opted for the brig.
Exactly. It raises huge questions. And the sources hint that Ray Yonder, Rook, wasn't thrilled. He subtly signaled his disapproval. So, friction within this new independent cell right from the start.
So they're independent. What's their mission? Dodge steps in again.
Dodge steps in, clicker, probably in hand, ready with the objectives. 3 critical interconnected missions for the newly minted independent Rogue Squadron.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, Flick has to go home. Back to Nightsinger's orb. His job is to consolidate power with his uncle, Calamus Hajaran, secure the barony's loyalty, all while Imperial envoys Theron and Alara Veneer are literally on their way to check up on House Hajaran.
Pressure's on.
And how? Plus, House Massetti is making a play for the moon. Led by Sir Taser Farron, a Saber Rake Flick apparently owes 3.2 million credits from Sabak.
Seriously, a gambling debt. Flick's walking into a political minefield and has personal debts.
Looks like it. Total Viper's Nest.
Okay, mission 1. Secure the barony. What's 2?
Mission 2 involves Flick and Conrad using their connection to Whisper, that underworld contact, to secure the Shadow Port, rumored to be at the glittering Gamble Casino. The rebellion desperately needs it for supplies.
The casino again?
Yep. Conrad's specific task is to dig into the casino's dirty money-rumored Imperial interest, House Machete involved again. And Dejus basically gives him the green light to go after Hamar Choktak there, too.
Mixing rebel business with personal pleasure or vengeance.
Seems to be the theme.
Yeah.
Third mission falls to Riet Yender, Rook. He needs to get to Vicinith, link up with Beaumont Grok, and assess if that rebel cell has any chance against an Imperial Legion. Grim. His main objective, though, is extraction. There's a compromised rebel slicer there, codenamed Emerald. Rook needs to get them out quietly before the Imperials find them. Or maybe before the cell deals with the suspected traitor themselves.
High stakes all around. And Dejus suggested backup.
Yeah, she authorized Rook, requesting help, specifically mentioning Tylo Alden might be useful for ground ops. These missions aren't separate. They're tangled together. Huge challenges.
So now they're truly independent. First order of business must be getting allies, right? They can't do this alone.
Exactly. Conrad immediately starts recruiting, and it's a motley crew.
Who does he pull in?
First, Skyrus Prime. Conrad appeals straight to his wallet, promises him a cut of the glittering Gamble's action, talks about a gold mine orbiting a casino.
Playing to his mercenary nature.
Totally. Skyrus jumps at the financial prospect, wants a percentage, terror-free trading zones, a free port. It's all business for him.
Okay, one greedy rogue trader on board. Who else?
Next, Lokar the Finder, the Twi'lek black market guy. Conrad hints at future profits, collaboration. Lokar, always seeing an opportunity, agrees to sign on with Flick Hajaran's service. Again, it's about gain, not ideology.
So the core team is Conrad, Flick, Rook, Skyrus, and Lokar. An interesting mix.
And then, John Tailgunner happens.
Oh no, he just invited himself.
Pretty much. Overhears them talking about the mission, inserts himself, declares his undying loyalty, talks about brotherhood and their shared creed.
Despite Flick clearly not wanting him there.
Despite Flick's obvious disgust
Aye.
and Conrad's weary acceptance,
Yeah.
Tailgunner just forces his way in. So that's the team setting off on these incredibly dangerous missions.
What a setup. Okay, let's step back. What are the big takeaways for you, our listener, from this whole deep dive into Rogue Squadron's mess?
Well, it really peels back the layers on these characters. You see Flick's impulsiveness, his need for attention, his, frankly, lack of leadership skills, now crashing against the hard reality of the barony's politics.
In Conrad.
Conrad's rebelliousness, his cynicism, suddenly he's in charge.
Yeah.
He has to actually confront what command means, even if he hates authority.
While Rook emerges as maybe the most competent.
Rook, yeah, often seen as cold or rigid, but he shows real strategic thinking, real leadership potential bubbling up. And Sero, his frustration just boils over into impulsive decisions, shows how hard it is managing these personalities in a high-stress rebellion.
So an unauthorized win spirals into this huge strategic mess, forcing this transformation.
Exactly. And now this independent rogue squadron faces massive questions. How do they get resources? How do they stay connected to the main rebellion without the Far Star?
Plus the specific mission dangers. Politics on Nightsinger's orb.
Infiltrating the glittering gamble with its crime syndicates and Homar Chakdak.
The suicide mission, basically, on Vicinith against a legion.
Extracting a compromised slicer. And underlying it all, can you trust someone like Skyrus Prime when the chips are really down?
Yeah.
His loyalty is purely transactional.
It's quite a journey we've tracked. From one assassination to this declaration of independence almost. Rogue Squadron's gone from just rebellious to fully independent, a truly motley crew facing enormous interconnected threats.
They've definitely burned some bridges, made some very strange new alliances, and inherited a whole universe of new problems.
Which brings us to a question for you to think about. Can a team really build on chaos, self-interest, maybe even insubordination? Can they actually succeed where maybe rigid discipline failed, especially facing the organized might of the Empire?
It's a fascinating question.
And maybe leaves you pondering this. What's actually more valuable in a desperate rebellion? Is it that audacious, rule-breaking spirit that creates chaos? Yes, but also unexpected chances. Or is it the structured discipline approach, minimizing risk, sticking to the plan?
This deep dive really shows you both sides, doesn't it?
It does. And the true costs, the real benefits, they're almost never clear-cut, are they?
Thank you for listening to the Bastard Star Wars RPG Deep Dive Podcast. We'll see you next week.